All right, so you're gearing up for this interview, right? As a design and applied arts vocational teacher,
Yeah,
and you want to make sure you just nail it completely.
absolutely.
So we're going to help you do that today.
Yeah, we've got you covered.
In this deep dive, we're using some insights from RoleCatcher, and we're going to
Mhm,
go through
mhm.
some sample interview questions to give you a real advantage.
Yeah, these are going to be the real deal.
Yeah, and we're not just going to tell you what to say.
No.
We're going to actually tell you why it works.
Right. The why is just as important as the what.
Exactly, and what those hiring managers are really looking for in a candidate.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, and then on top of that, we'll even give you some tips on how RoleCatcher's AI can help you personalize your answers and get feedback that is specific to this job.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Okay, so before we jump into the interview questions, let's just quickly set the scene.
Okay.
What does a design and applied arts vocational teacher actually do?
Okay, so beyond the obvious of teaching art and design, right? You are blending practical instruction with theoretical knowledge.
Okay.
So think about graphic design, interior design, things like that.
Yeah.
So you're really helping the students build those hands-on skills that they'll need out there in the real world for a real career.
Yeah. Okay, so they're not just learning theory, they're actually making things.
Exactly, building that portfolio.
And I imagine a lot of that involves evaluating student progress as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Lots of monitoring, lots of assessing, providing feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's more than just lecturing and standing at the front of the room.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and it's important to remember, I think, the impact of these practical skills in applied arts and craft professions, like we were saying, graphic design, interior design.
Yeah, for sure.
So, really honing in on those.
Okay, now, when it comes to the workplaces for this type of job, are there any surprises?
No, I don't think so, really.
Hmm?
It's going to be colleges, universities, vocational schools.
Yeah.
Those are your main settings.
Okay. Pretty straightforward. Okay, cool. Now let's talk about RoleCatcher for a sec.
Okay.
What makes it different than just, Googling some random, generic interview tips online?
Yeah. So RoleCatcher is really like having a personal career coach in your pocket, and it's powered by AI. So it can do things like analyze job descriptions to help tailor your resume,
Wow.
to increase your chances of getting shortlisted.
Okay.
Plus, it can even provide feedback on your interview answers.
Hold on. The AI actually analyzes job descriptions.
It does.
How does that even work?
It's pretty amazing. So it identifies keywords and skills that the employers are really looking for
Okay.
and helps you highlight those in your application materials.
So it's not just about having like a fancy resume, it's about having a strategic resume.
Exactly.
Okay.
And here's a bonus. RoleCatcher also has a database of employers.
Right.
So if you opt in, you could even be discovered by the perfect fit for you.
Oh, wow.
Imagine that.
Okay, I'm sold.
All right.
But let's get to the main event here, the interview questions.
Yes.
Okay, are you ready to tackle these?
Absolutely. Let's break them down and equip our listeners with everything they need to shine in that interview.
All right, so first question straight from the interviewer.
Huh.
What inspired you to become a design and applied arts vocational teacher?
Okay.
What are they really trying to get at here?
They're looking for your passion. They want to see what's driving you. What's the force behind this career choice?
Okay.
Do your motivations align with what's actually required of this role?
Right.
And really, what led you to this specific field?
So it's not enough to just say, I love art.
No, they're looking for a story.
Yeah.
They want to see that genuine personal anecdote that reveals your connection to teaching in this field.
Okay.
So think back to those pivotal moments. What was it that sparked that initial fire?
Okay.
What solidified this path for you?
Okay, so here's a starting point. My passion for this role stems from a deep love of design and a desire to empower others through creativity. I've always been fascinated by how design can solve problems and inspire innovation, and I believe vocational education plays a vital role in equipping students with real-world skills.
Oh, okay.
Now, how can we make that answer even stronger?
So that's a great foundation. You've touched on your love of design, and you've also emphasized your commitment to teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Now think about some specific experiences.
Okay.
Maybe a memorable project, a mentor who inspired you, or even a personal challenge that you overcame through design.
That's a great point.
Okay.
Now, what kind of follow-up questions might they ask after this?
So they might dig deeper into your teaching philosophy.
Okay.
So be prepared to answer questions like, how do you approach teaching complex design concepts to students with varying skill levels? Or Can you share an example of a time when you helped a student overcome a creative obstacle?
Okay, so you really need to have those concrete examples ready.
Absolutely.
Now, RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful here.
Yeah.
Imagine practicing your response and getting feedback from the AI that is tailored to this specific question.
Yes.
It's like having a mock interview with an expert.
Precisely.
Yeah.
You can fine-tune your answers, gain confidence knowing you're hitting the right notes.
Okay.
Now let's move on to question number 2. How do you keep up with current trends and developments in the design and applied arts industry?
Okay, what are they trying to assess here with that question?
They want to know that you are not stuck in the past. You know, the design world is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So it's really crucial for you to demonstrate your commitment to staying relevant and bringing that fresh knowledge into the classroom to your students.
So it's not enough to just say like, oh yeah, I read design magazines.
Definitely not.
Right.
Think about specific publications, websites, online communities, anything that shows you're actively seeking out new information and keeping up to date on trends.
Right.
Are you experimenting with new software?
Mm-hmm.
Are you following any influential designers?
You know, the more specific you can be, the better.
Okay, so how about this as an answer? I'm an avid follower of design blogs and publications like Design Milk and Dezeen, and I regularly participate in online design communities like Dribbble and Behance. I also make it a point to experiment with new design software and techniques, like exploring the latest features in Adobe Creative Suite to ensure I'm bringing the most up-to-date knowledge to my students.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
That's specific.
Mm-hmm.
It shows initiative, and it really paints a picture of somebody who's genuinely plugged into the design world.
Okay.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher's career guides can be a lifesaver here, too.
Right.
They offer insights into current trends for a ton of different roles. So it's like having a cheat sheet for staying informed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of follow-up questions could they throw my way after a response like that?
So they might ask you to dive deeper into a specific trend.
Okay.
Something like, can you share a recent design trend that excites you and how you might incorporate it into your teaching? Or they might focus on emerging technologies.
Okay.
So they might say something like, how do you see insert specific technology impacting the future of design, and how would you prepare your students for those changes?
Okay, so you really need to be able to think on your feet and connect those broader trends back to your teaching in the classroom.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They want to see that you can bridge the gap between theory and practice.
Yeah. Okay.
Now let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Imagine the interviewer asks, how do you ensure that your teaching methods are effective for a diverse range of students?
Oh, okay.
What's the underlying message there? What are they trying to get at?
Well, they want to see that you recognize and understand that, classrooms are filled with individuals,
Yes.
right? And these individuals have different learning styles,
Absolutely.
different backgrounds, different needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to know, do you understand that? And can you tailor your approach to create an environment where everyone feels supported and challenged?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where differentiated instruction really comes into play. Okay, now I've heard that term before, but for those who haven't, can you just break that down a bit?
Yeah, so differentiated instruction, it all comes down to recognizing that students learn in different ways.
Right.
Some are visual learners, some are auditory learners, some are kinesthetic learners who learn by doing.
Yeah.
So it's really about providing different avenues to understanding and mastering the material.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do you show that you understand differentiated instruction in your answer?
By giving specific examples.
Okay.
So for instance, you could say, I cater to visual learners by incorporating visual aids like diagrams and mood boards for auditory learners. I might use podcasts or recorded lectures. And for those who learn best by doing, I create hands-on activities and design challenges.
Okay, so it's about showing that you don't have a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, you're adaptable and willing to meet students where they are.
Yeah, okay.
And don't forget to mention how you get to know your students individually to understand their strengths, challenges, and their learning preferences.
Okay, so an answer like this might work. I believe in creating an inclusive and supportive environment where every student feels valued. I achieve this through differentiated instruction, using a variety of teaching methods to cater to different learning styles and needs. I also make it a priority to get to know my students individually, understanding their unique strengths and challenges. This allows me to provide personalized support and ensure everyone feels empowered to succeed.
That's a great response.
Okay.
It hits all the key points: inclusivity, differentiation, personalized learning. You've shown that you're aware of student diversity and ready to adapt your teaching to meet their needs.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of follow-up questions could they ask to dig a little deeper?
Maybe they'll ask about specific strategies.
Yeah.
Like, can you describe a strategy you've used to support a student struggling with a specific design concept?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Or they could ask, how do you create a classroom culture where students feel comfortable asking questions and taking creative risks?
Okay, so it's all about showcasing your practical skills and your experience in fostering that positive learning environment.
Yes.
RoleCatcher can help you fine-tune these answers.
Oh, absolutely.
Its AI can analyze your responses and provide personalized feedback. It's like having a mock interview with a career coach.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it takes practice to a whole new level and gives you that extra edge you need to ace the interview.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of showcasing your experience,
Okay.
the next question is, can you describe a project or assignment that you have developed to challenge your students and foster their creativity?
Okay.
What's the real goal behind this question?
They want to see your teaching in action.
Okay.
So they're looking for your creativity as an educator.
Okay.
Can you design engaging and challenging projects that push students to think outside the box?
Right.
How do you spark their imagination?
Yeah.
How do you encourage them to take creative risks?
Okay.
So it's about showcasing your ability to design activities that are both educational and inspiring.
Okay, so it's not about just teaching software or design principles. It's about creating those aha moments.
Exactly.
Right.
So think about projects that require problem-solving, collaboration, and innovation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you had students design a mobile app for a local nonprofit,
Oh, okay.
or create a marketing campaign for a sustainable product.
Okay, yeah.
It's about demonstrating that you can go beyond the textbook and bring design to life.
Okay, so how about this for an answer? One project I'm particularly proud of involved a design challenge, where students were tasked with rebranding a local museum to attract a younger audience. They had to conduct market research, develop a brand strategy, design a new logo and visual identity, and create a mock-up of a promotional campaign. I encouraged them to experiment with different design styles and collaborate to develop innovative solutions.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's specific. It highlights the project's real-world relevance,
Right.
and it emphasizes the process of research, strategy, and collaboration.
Yeah.
But how did you assess the project? I mean, what were the outcomes? Don't be afraid to mention how the students responded to the project or
Yeah.
any awards they might have won.
That's a good point. And what kind of follow-up questions could they ask about this project?
So they might ask, what were some of the challenges students faced during this project, and how did you guide them through those obstacles?
Mm-hmm.
Or they could focus on your assessment strategy.
Okay.
How did you assess the effectiveness of this project in achieving your learning objectives?
Okay. Yeah.
So they want to see that you can reflect on your teaching process and analyze its impact.
Got it.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to a question that's becoming increasingly important in today's world.
Okay.
How do you incorporate technology into your teaching methods?
All right.
Now, why is tech such a big deal in design education?
Well, technology is transforming the design industry.
Right.
So it's absolutely essential to prepare students for this tech-driven world.
Yeah.
It's about demonstrating that you're embracing these changes and that you can leverage technology to enhance your teaching and engage your students.
Okay, so we're talking more than just like using PowerPoint here.
Absolutely.
Right.
Think about, the vast world of digital tools that are available.
Yeah.
Design software like Adobe Creative Suite 3D modeling programs.
Right.
Virtual and augmented reality tools.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Collaborative platforms like Miro and Figma, online design communities, and so much more.
Okay.
So the key is to really demonstrate how you use these tools to create dynamic learning experiences and prepare students for the future of design.
So an answer like this might be a good starting point. I believe technology is an integral part of modern design education, and I strive to integrate it seamlessly into my teaching. I utilize industry-standard design software like Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator to teach technical skills and introduce students to emerging technologies like 3D modeling and web design. I also encourage collaboration and feedback through online platforms and leverage online design communities to inspire and connect students with the broader design world.
Okay, that's a solid foundation. You've demonstrated your familiarity with those industry standard tools and your willingness to embrace new technologies.
Okay.
But can you give a specific example of how you've used technology to enhance student learning?
Oh,
Maybe you had students collaborate on a virtual reality design project or used online prototyping tools to test out user interfaces. Specific examples will make your answer much stronger.
great advice. What are some follow-up questions they might ask about technology?
So they might ask about the challenges of integrating technology.
Right.
Something like, how do you address issues like ensuring equitable access to technology for all students? Or they might ask about specific strategies.
Right.
Can you describe a lesson or project where you use technology to enhance student learning?
Yeah.
So be ready to share those concrete examples.
All right, let's tackle another question that's all about showing your ability to handle real-world teaching scenarios. Can you describe a time when you had to adapt your teaching methods to accommodate a particularly challenging student or situation? What's the interviewer really trying to assess here?
They're testing your problem-solving skills,
Okay,
your flexibility, and your resilience.
right.
They want to see that you can handle unexpected challenges
Sure.
and adapt your teaching to meet those individual needs.
Yeah.
So think back to a specific situation where you faced a hurdle.
Okay.
It could be a student with a learning disability, a disruptive classroom dynamic, or even a last-minute curriculum change.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
How did you approach the situation? What steps did you take to adapt your teaching, and what were the outcomes?
Right.
This is your chance to showcase your ability to think on your feet and find solutions.
Okay, so a good answer might be, in a previous teaching role, I had a student who was extremely shy and reluctant to participate in class discussions or group projects, knowing the importance of collaboration and communication in design. I wanted to find a way to encourage this student to engage. I started by assigning them individual tasks that played to their strengths and gradually incorporated them into smaller group activities. I also provided positive reinforcement and encouraged their peers to be supportive over time. The students' confidence grew, and they began actively contributing to the class.
That's a great example.
Okay.
You've clearly outlined the challenge, your approach, and the positive outcome. And it demonstrates your empathy, your patience, and your ability to create a supportive learning environment.
Okay.
But how did this experience shape your teaching practices moving forward?
Okay.
Did it lead you to develop new strategies for encouraging participation?
Oh, okay.
You know, reflecting on the long-term impact of this situation adds another layer to your answer.
That's helpful. What kind of follow-up questions might come up?
So they might ask about specific strategies you've developed.
Okay.
Like, what specific strategies have you implemented to support students who are struggling academically or socially? Or they might want to know how you collaborate with other professionals.
Okay.
How do you work with parents counselors or other teachers to address challenging student situations?
Right.
They want to see that you're a team player and committed to finding solutions that benefit everyone involved.
Okay. So it's not just about describing the situation. It's about highlighting your growth as an educator.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, before we dive into the next question, I want to mention that RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly valuable in helping you practice your responses to these challenging behavioral questions.
Oh, for sure.
You can record yourself answering the question and get personalized feedback on your delivery,
Yeah.
your tone, even your nonverbal communication.
Yeah.
It's like having a virtual coach guiding you every step of the way.
It's an incredible tool for perfecting your interview skills and building confidence.
All right, now on to another crucial question. How do you assess student learning and provide feedback to your students?
Okay.
This seems like a pretty straightforward question.
It does.
But what are they really trying to understand about you?
So they want to see that you have a well-defined approach to assessment and feedback.
Okay.
You know, remember, it's not just about grading assignments.
Okay.
It's about fostering that culture of learning and growth.
Right.
So they're looking for evidence that you can use a variety of assessment methods, provide constructive feedback, and encourage student self-reflection. It's about demonstrating that you understand the purpose of assessment,
Right.
which is to guide learning and help students develop their skills.
So instead of just saying, like, I give quizzes and grade projects, we need to go a little deeper.
Exactly. Think about the different types of assessments.
Okay.
Formative assessments that are ongoing and help guide instruction. And then you have your summative assessments that evaluate learning at the end of a unit or a project. And then when it comes to feedback, be specific.
Okay.
Instead of just saying, good job or needs improvement,
Right.
explain what the student did well, what they can improve on,
Okay.
and how they can take their learning to the next level.
Okay, so an answer like this might work. I believe in using a variety of assessment methods to gain a holistic understanding of student learning. I use both formative and summative assessments, incorporating projects, presentations, critiques, and peer feedback to gauge their understanding of design concepts and their ability to apply them when providing feedback. I strive to be specific, constructive, and encouraging, focusing on both strengths and areas for improvement. I also encourage students to reflect on their own work and set goals for future growth.
That's an excellent response.
Okay.
You've touched on different types of assessments, the importance of specific and constructive feedback, and the value of self-reflection.
Okay.
Now, what kind of follow-up questions might they ask to dig a little deeper into your assessment practices?
Maybe they want like specific examples, like, can you share an example of how you've used student feedback to adjust your teaching?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Or they might ask about technology. How do you incorporate technology into your assessment and feedback practices? So think about tools like online portfolios,
Right.
digital rubrics, or even video feedback.
Yeah.
You know, it's about demonstrating that you're up to date with those latest trends in educational technology.
Okay, before we move on to the next question, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher for a moment.
Yeah.
Remember how we talked about its AI-powered feedback feature?
Uh-huh.
It can be incredibly valuable in helping you refine your answers to these assessment-related questions.
Oh, absolutely.
It can analyze your responses, identify areas where you can be more specific,
Yeah.
and even suggest alternative phrasing to make your answers even stronger.
It's like having a personalized writing coach
Wow.
to help you craft those perfect responses.
Okay. All right, let's tackle another question that's all about creating a positive learning environment. How do you foster a positive and inclusive classroom environment?
All right.
And what are they really looking for with this question?
They're trying to gauge your teaching philosophy and how you approach this, essential duality in design.
Yeah.
Technical skills are vital, but so does that spark of creative problem solving?
Right.
They want to see how you nurture both of those in your students.
It's like finding that sweet spot between structure and freedom, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So think about how your teaching methods, your feedback, even the classroom culture you create,
Yeah.
all contribute to that balance.
Mhm.
How do you encourage mastery of technical skills while also pushing students to think outside the box,
Right.
to experiment and take those creative risks?
Okay, so a good starting point might be, I believe technical skills are the foundation of good design, but they're just the beginning. I want my students to be more than just skilled technicians. I want them to be creative thinkers who can solve real-world problems. I strive to teach those technical skills in a way that's engaging and relevant, connecting them to real-world projects and encouraging experimentation at the same time. I want to cultivate a classroom culture that celebrates creativity, risk-taking, and pushing those boundaries.
That's a great foundation.
Okay.
But remember, specificity is key.
Okay.
Can you give an example of a project or assignment that showcased this balance?
Okay.
Maybe a time when a student mastered a technical skill and then used that in a surprising, creative way.
Right. Okay, and what about follow-up questions?
Sure.
What might they ask to kind of dig deeper into this balance?
They might ask, how do you assess a student's growth in both technical proficiency and creative thinking?
Right.
Remember, assessment isn't just about grades. It's about understanding how students are developing those multifaceted skills.
Right. Okay, so it's not just about describing it's about describing how you teach, how you assess, how you create that environment.
Yes.
That fosters both technical mastery and creative expression.
Precisely. And don't forget, this final question is a great opportunity to circle back to your career goals and ambitions.
Oh, yeah.
The interviewer wants to know that you're not just looking for a job,
Right.
but a path that allows you to grow and evolve as an educator.
Okay, so how can we weave those career aspirations into the answer?
Think about those professional development opportunities you're pursuing, those areas of specialization that excite you.
All right.
Maybe you're interested in incorporating emerging technologies into your curriculum or developing innovative assessment strategies.
All right.
So by subtly highlighting these ambitions, you're showcasing your commitment to continuous learning and growth.
Okay, so I could say something like, I'm also eager to explore how emerging technologies like VR and AR can be integrated into design education to foster both technical skills and creativity. I'm currently pursuing professional development opportunities in this area, and I'm excited to share my learnings with my students and colleagues.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It shows that you're not only passionate about your craft, but also committed to staying ahead of the curve and bringing those cutting-edge insights into the classroom.
Yeah.
Remember, the interviewer wants to see that you're a valuable asset,
Uh-huh.
someone who will contribute to the school's growth and innovation.
Wow, this deep dive has been incredibly helpful.
It has.
We've explored the role of a design and applied arts vocational teacher in depth,
Yeah.
tackled those challenging interview questions, and even woven in some career insights to help our listeners really stand out from the crowd.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground, but remember, the most important thing is to be authentic
Yeah.
and let your passion shine through. The interviewer wants to see your genuine enthusiasm for teaching, for design, and for nurturing the next generation of creative thinkers.
Absolutely. So to all our listeners out there who are preparing for their design and applied arts vocational teacher interviews,
Yeah.
remember these key takeaways. Be specific
Be passionate.
and be prepared to showcase your unique skills and experiences.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher.
Right.
This incredible tool can help you refine your resume, practice your interview answers, get personalized feedback, and even connect you with your dream school.
It's a game changer.
It is.
All right. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll be back next time with another exciting exploration into the world of careers,